I just had such a cool experience the whole day. Actually, it was very interesting what happened. So just geographically speaking, we have two supermarkets here, and both of them are we have an in-store presence, as Instacart call it, in both supermarkets. So that means there's a staging area in which people like me can go and shop, put things in a bag, bags go on a shelf, and the driver comes and picks things up and delivers it, or even the customer comes and picks up the bags themselves. So that's kind of that's what we do. That's my day job. And this morning I turned up at supermarket number 1, Publix, which is my regular supermarket, and my shift lead was there, and he said, man, we have only one shopper in the other supermarket that I've been shopping in for myself, like every once in a while, like very rarely. I knew it exists, it's not really my usual thing, and I don't really work there. And he says, well, we only have one shopper on shift, and that person had an emergency and can't come in. What am I gonna do? And I thought, yeah, that's a challenge. And just like I'm the helpful kind of guy, it just slipped out that I said, hey, if there's anything I can do to help, let me know. And he goes, that's an interesting thought. Maybe I can get you in there. If you finish your shift here, maybe I can get you into the other supermarket. And I said, I've never really shopped in that supermarket. They're completely different products in different locations, and they don't have a self-checkout. This is all totally different. But I'm happy to give it a go. And so the next thing I know is I'm working 1 hour or like half an hour in my regular supermarket in the morning from 12 to 12:30. And after that, I'm being taken off shift and I'm starting at the other supermarket. It's kind of cool to experience that. So I've been just for the last 5 hours, I've been working in a completely new environment, had to adapt to that. I didn't even know that was going to happen this morning when I went into work. And like my friend always says, and I believe it's a philosopher's quote, life begins when the comfort zones or where the comfort zone ends. And that is just so true. I mean, I was happy to embark on the challenge, and I didn't really know what to expect. I just thought, hey, this could be fun. Let's try it out. And it turns out it was a lot of fun. I mean, one thing that I've noticed is that I don't have in the new supermarket is, of course, knowledge of where everything is. And so that means that has an impact on my speed, and it has an impact on the whole social congregation that we have going. So if in my regular supermarket I don't see a certain item in produce or in the meat department or anywhere, I know literally every colleague from the supermarket, from Publix. I know them all by name, and I can always say, hey, can you check if this is in the bag, and is this somewhere else, and can you help me with that? And it's really easy if you know the people. But if you don't know the people, that's just awkward, weird, different, because you don't really know who to talk to. And it was mysteriously strange that I just approached them all with the energy that I have, and it turns out that they were very receptive to that. I said, hey, I'm Jay, it's my first day here. I usually work at Publix, it's my first day at the Fresh Market. I'm just helping out. And everyone shook hands and said, well, not everyone, because we've got the coronavirus scare, but most of them shook hands and introduced me by their name. I've already met Alberto in the produce department. I met Juan, I met Eric, the managers there, and I met Vincent, who's working for both Publix and Fresh Market. Interestingly, I met Carlos, who I already knew from Publix, who's just stopped working for Publix. Now he's working for the Fresh Market full-time. It's kind of interesting. It's almost like, it's not like there were a bunch of new people that I had never met. It's almost like, it felt like I knew half of them, and the other half they are now my friends. You know what I mean? It's happened very quickly that we just go and say, hey, this is not new. Let's just make this happen. And I think this is what I wanted to mention. This is what I wanted to put down on tape, as it were. That if you have this attitude that you say, oh my God, that's impossible, can't do that. No, that's like a massive issue. Then this is the experience that you'll have. But if you bring a different attitude, namely, let's make it happen. This isn't a problem. Hey, there is an issue. Let's find a solution and let's make this happen. And that is the experience that you'll have. All the same. Do you know what I'm trying to say? It's like in Germany we have the saying, wie es in den Wald hineinschallt, so schallt es heraus. And what that kind of means is whatever you put out will come back to you in a way, like, loosely translated. And this is exactly what I felt. I could have approached this as something hostile, terrible, and something that's not positive, and something in which I would experience isolation, because I would bring isolation into the whole new situation. But instead I chose to be open and upfront and positive about the whole thing. And I did it by choice. That's also a big difference. It's not something that has been imposed upon me. This is something that I offered my help, and it was gladly accepted, because the company I work for was kind of having a bad day. They could have done with somebody who helped them out, and I provided that. And the next thing I know is that the experience, the way I brought it in, is how it came back. I mean, I didn't know how the meat counter worked, or what the products in the milk section were and all that. It's all totally new to me. I had no idea what their freezer section would look like. But it being kind of a half crisis situation, they were happy to have me, and it was just an interesting experience that my day began as something that I had not expected it to turn out. And also it reminds me that every moment that we make decisions can literally have huge consequences, and it is up to us to make those experiences if and when we want to, and it's up to us to be open to such opportunities. I don't know if I'll work there again. For me this was just a one-off, but who knows, I might split my time. It's just if ever I thought my job was routine, which I don't think it is, it's just something that once you know how to do something, it becomes easy enough not to think about it anymore. But with this crisis that we're currently facing, the job is a lot harder work than it used to be. You don't just pick up items and put them in the bag. You're constantly writing messages and say, hey, that type of whatever isn't available, I've replaced it with that. Or hey, this isn't available at all, I had to do a refund. And you speak to customers and all that. So that is, that's something that makes this in the last couple of weeks a bit harder to get through the day than it usually I'm cruising, and now it's a bit harder to do that. So this was a totally refreshing change that all of a sudden just appeared, and it was a nice experience. It was interesting. I feel exhausted now, so I'm deserving a good seat in the front row of my TV set now. But yeah, it was a good day. It was positive. It was exciting. And I didn't think all this was going to happen when I drove to work when I drove to work this morning. So I just wanted to share that with you.